aka Miss WC Reader, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, just understand that for me, unhauls happen frequently. I try to do at least one every season because I don't like to hold on to books that I'm never going to read again. I don't like to hold on to books that were lackluster. I don't like to hold on to too many books that I don't actually plan on picking up. And I am very lucky in that I've gotten a lot of books the past couple of years from publishers, and it's always amazing getting book mail. But sometimes you get book mail where it's just like unsolicited stuff you would have never picked up. And then sometimes something is highly anticipated and then you read it and it's a disappointment. And I feel like, especially with 2024, there's just been a lot of books that have been great concepts but completely failed for me. Or like I was liking it and then somewhere in the middle it stopped being likable. So I have a decent pile of books today. Let's get into everything I'll be unhauling. Looking for Love in All the Haunted Places. I have a love-hate relationship with Berkley in that a lot of their books need another round of editing. And that's whether it's their romance, whether it's their fantasy, historical, or whatever. A lot of times they need another round of editing. And like, I'll find that the concept is really interesting, but then the book often loses me somewhere in the middle. In this case, this one never quite picked up for me. It didn't deliver on the haunted house aspect. It didn't deliver on the paranormal romance aspect. It couldn't even deliver as a cutesy small town romance. I felt like this was overly repetitive. That's another thing with Berkley, specifically with their romance. Their romances are too long. This was too long. It could have been 100 pages shorter and would have changed nothing. And there was not enough of a dynamic here between the main characters. So I thought this was going to be like a super cute fall read, and I would have never finished it if I didn't have the audiobook from the library. I have the Friend Zone Experiment by Zencho, and I thought this was going to be interesting just because it was described as a crazy rich Asian type of story, definitely K-drama inspired. The drama was really, really good at first. I want to say the first at least 25 to 30%. I was really loving this one. Then it hit the middle and got boring. There just wasn't enough going on to sustain the whole book. And I didn't care for the romance, which is a big part of this. It was all like, we should be together, but no, we shouldn't because we're wrong for each other, and it got old real quick. Twelfth Night. This one is by Alexine Farrow-Fulmuth. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't great. This was a Reese's book club pick, and I'm just like, it's okay. There was nothing really stand out about this as far as YA romance. Like, there were some cute parts, but it overall, it was just average. It Waits in the Forest by Sarah Das. The only reason why I'm getting rid of this one is because when it got a little damaged when I took it on vacation to Jamaica, but also this is an ARC copy. I have a finished copy, so since I have the finished copy, I don't need the ARC. I'm just going to go ahead and put it in the little free library. The Fraud Squad. This was sitting on my shelf for 2 years. And I finally decided to pick it up. I'm like, I need something around election time, and I'm gonna finally read this one and stop having it look me in the face all the time. This did not deliver. There was not a fraud in sight. I expected scheming. I expected drama. She was just basically like a socialite. She used her real name, so no fraud. She was just pretending to be wealthier than she was, but she used her real name. This was also set in Singapore, and I don't feel like we got enough of Singapore. It could have been set in New York. It could have been set in the UK. Like, nothing felt distinct about it. And the only thing that I feel like it brought was the author used to work for these high fashion magazines, like the main character. So the main character was striving for that. So she knew the inner workings of that world. But other than that, this didn't deliver. The Kiss Countdown by Eddie Easton. I loved this one actually. It really surprised me, especially because it is Berkeley and it's shorter than some of their other ones. And it just gave me all the feels. Like, I was smiling reading it. I could really relate to the main character as well. I thought the romance was well done, which is also a feat because it was in dual POV, so we didn't get the male perspective, and some authors struggle when it comes to that. Like, this is one of my favorite romance reads of the year. So the only reason why I'm unhauling this one is because I got this finished copy from the publisher, and I loved it so much that a mutual was selling a copy that was a special edition. Like, it was hardcover and had the special end pages and the special sprayed edges. So I ended up buying that one because I just loved it so much. I wanted to keep that pretty edition on my shelf, and it is truly a gorgeous edition. This is The Dead Cattail Assassins by P. Djeli Clark. So I don't think P. Djeli Clark is the author for me. I really like the Black God's Drums. I really liked Ring Shout. Everything else I've picked up from him, like, I've either DNF'd or I didn't love. Like, I was enjoying this one at first, and then it just kind of fell off for me, and I never got back on. Like, I like, it just wasn't connecting with me. Like, it was like I was reading the words but nothing. So I don't think P. Djeli Clark is the author for me. Ooh, last, I have two in a series that I never read. So I have Blood Debts and I have Blood Justice. The reason why I'm unhauling this series is, so I wasn't fully sure if I was going to read this one. I kept going back and forth, like if I was going to read this one. Because from what people were saying, it didn't really sound like anything I wanted to read. And then the publisher reached out to me and like, oh, do you want a box with these two? And I'm like, okay, you know what, I can try it because some people were telling me to read it. Now I am on like the decided fact I'm not gonna read this at all. And part of that was because this year we've been having a big conversation about representation for Black boys in publishing. And you think, like, this is a male author, one of the main characters who has a POV is male, that would be a big priority for him. But when the conversations were coming up, and some of the conversations got ugly, they got very anti-black, very anti-black southerner, very anti-black boy, instead of speaking up in defense of Black southern boys and the harsh expectations that are thrown upon them, he instead was just like, Black women, my books are a safe space for you. That pissed me off so much because he never said that for the boys. Like, I've never heard him say that for the boys. He was also doing some very weird thirst trapping with his books, and that was not cute to me at all whatsoever. It was actually kind of weird because I'm like, why are you shirtless with a rose in your mouth? This is a YA series, sir. But anyway, back on track. Like, that just pissed me off because here was your opportunity as a Black male author working in a space where you look like you are underrepresented to speak up for Black boys, and you didn't. And I feel like some Black men who work in publishing feel that they need to pander to women in order to sell their books. And as a Black woman, I don't need you to pander to me. I really don't. I want you to be authentic. I want you to be able to write for a Black boy audience, because again, they do need books as well. And I think people need to understand that a lot of times with these books, we try to present the perfect image of a Black boy based off of what the media is saying, based off of what other races are saying, or whatever, and Black boys deserve to be unperfect as well. So that didn't jive with me. He already was kind of throwing some shade at some other Black male authors in this space that I had seen in the past, and that didn't jive with me either. So I'm not reading this author. So that's everything that I am unhauling for today. Let me know if you've read any of these series, or let me know if you're doing a holiday unhaul. If you aren't, and you're not sure what to say, just leave me a book emoji If you like this video, make sure and hit that like button. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!